On The Voice Season 26, Sofronio Vasquez's name resounded with unmistakable force and emotion as the last lights went down and the final votes were announced. His triumph was more than just the end of a broadcast competition. It was the beginning of a journey that had been planned for years, and more significantly, the starting point for an even more ambitious future. Sofronio's presence felt different from the start of the season. He exuded an implicit confidence that didn't depend on excess or arrogance, and there was a quiet seriousness to the way he took the stage. He didn't sing to overrun the moment or demonstrate his range. It was about connecting instead. His voice exuded emotional sincerity, tenderness, and restraint, qualities that cannot be coached or faked. They are earned, acquired, and lived. Sofronio continuously showed during Season 26 that he understood that singing is about more than simply sound. It's also about expressing a story. Instead of feeling like a standalone performance, each performance felt like a chapter. He took a respectful approach to music, devoting effort to comprehending the meaning behind the melody. As a result, viewers felt the lyrics sink into their own experiences, memories, and feelings rather than merely hearing them. Sofronio's artistic maturity was what made him unique. He trusted simplicity while many others pursued theatrical arrangements or vocal fireworks. Silence was important to him. He knew when to sing less and when to sing more. His performances lasted long after the stage lights went out because of his natural ability to let a song breathe. His moderation became his trademark in a talent-filled competition. Week after week, Sofronio purposefully and humbly took in criticism. He paid close attention to his coaches because he was eager to improve rather than because he was looking for approval. Without sacrificing the essence of his voice, he experimented with new aspects, honed his emotional delivery, and improved his phrasing. Authenticity was never sacrificed for growth, and audiences found great resonance in that balance. Something extraordinary occurred as the season went on. Sofronio's performances started to resemble concerts rather than competitive entries. Instead of tuning in to see what he would unveil next, fans did so to see if he would deliver. His capacity to maintain composure in the face of increasing strain revealed a great deal about his personality. Even in its early phases, fame did not overwhelm him. He responded to it with thankfulness and composed concentration. The actual conclusion was intense, full of emotion and suspense. It seemed both triumphant and inevitable when Sofronio's name was revealed as the Season 26 winner. But his response was telling. He acknowledged the journey, the other artists, the mentors, and the fans that supported him, instead of just celebrating his success. His remarks demonstrated a profound awareness that no accomplishment is attained in a vacuum. Sofronio's life was drastically altered by winning The Voice, but his morals remained unchanged. In interviews after his victory, he talked about duty rather than entitlement. He understood the responsibility he had to uphold the platform that had been bestowed upon him. For Sofronio, the designation of winner represented a commitment to keep learning, producing, and aiming higher than before rather than a conclusion. Sofronio has taken a deliberate approach to his next chapter after the season concluded. Opportunities quickly came in the form of industry discussions, public appearances, and rising interest in original music. He was cautious not to rush his artistic endeavors for effect, nonetheless, and remain discriminating. He is aware that longevity in music is not achieved by rapid delight, but rather through constancy, honesty, and progress. Sofronio is creating an environment that is both modern and agilist from an artistic standpoint. Although his effects are noticeable, they are never overwhelming. He prefers songs that bring listeners in rather than dazzle them from a distance. Music that lets emotional complexity shine. His voice, which possesses both strength and sensitivity, is well suited for narratives that cut over genre lines. Sofronio's regard for the audience is one of his distinguishing characteristics. He performs beside people rather than in front of them. He talks about his career with the same attitude. He frequently prioritizes impact over image and connection over numbers. For him, success is determined by if his music can help someone get through a significant life transition, rather than just by charts or awards. Inspiration and representation are also very important to him. Watching someone like you hit the stage on a worldwide scale and be taken seriously is something Sofronio knows what it's like to be noticed. He often reminds prospective artists that there is no one way to success, and urges them to believe their uniqueness. His own experience serves as evidence that in a field that is frequently fixated on speed, sincerity, patience, and discipline are nevertheless important. In the background, Sofronio keeps up his peaceful labor, composing, honing, and experimenting with sounds that represent his current and future selves. He talks about wanting bodies of work that convey a story from start to finish and albums that seem unified. He has no interest in following fads. He desires music that remains and develops with listeners rather than becoming obsolete. People who know him say he is an artist who never stops thinking. His curiosity has not been diminished by fame. On the contrary, it has been enhanced. He seeks out perspective, asks questions, and is receptive to change. He remains grounded despite rising expectations because to this mentality, he is aware that aiming high necessitates both ambition and moderation, dreaming large while maintaining a sense of purpose. Building on his past, rather than running away from it, is the goal of Sofronio's post, The Voice Journey. His creative judgments are now informed by all of the lessons he learned throughout the competition, including discipline, adaptability, and emotional honesty. Instead of inspiring dread, the spotlight's pressure has turned into fuel. He comes forward to express himself more thoroughly rather than to prove himself once more. Sofronio Vasquez is surrounded by a sense of trust as viewers anticipate what will happen next. Have faith that he won't speak too quickly. Have faith that he will safeguard his artistic abilities. Have faith that he will keep developing in ways that seem natural and significant. He stands for something more uncommon in a field full of ephemeral moments, a steady rise. In addition to selecting a champion, Season 26 of The Voice also debuted a long-term artist. Word by word, decision by decision, Sofronio's story continues to develop, and he keeps aiming high with purpose, modesty, and a voice that reminds us why music is important in the first place. Sofronio Vasquez is prepared for everything that lies ahead, even if the adventure has only just begun.